What is going on, everybody? This is Rawstarr, and you're listening to The Misfit Effect. Surprising by his absence, CW couldn't join us today because he had sort of an emergency to handle. But the show must go on, and we always must continue forward because this one has to go live tomorrow. So it's just going to be me today, but I brought you in a very amazing, wonderful human being who I met. It's been over a year.
Yeah, I'd say over a year.
Probably like a year and a half. It's crazy. It's been fast.
Yeah, time flies.
But her screen name on Twitch is Seeking the Great. So she's a Twitch streamer, and that's how the guest we had last week is how I met her because they're best friends, and I enjoy watching her stream because she plays games from that I can relate to. So I don't know if you're going to say your first name or not, but go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, so just like you gave in your intro, aside from League, which I do every so often, I also really like playing games from my childhood, and that mostly entails games from the GameCube, because that's what I have right now. Unfortunately, when I moved out when I was 17, I had to leave behind my Nintendo 64, and my dad couldn't keep up with paying off our storage unit, and everything inside of it, including my 64, got auctioned off in a storage auction. So.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, a lot of childhood memorabilia got lost in his miscalculation. So.
Like of all my systems that I've ever had or ever owned, the 64 is still my favorite.
Yeah. That was one of my initial consoles, like the ones that I really got a handful of games. Sometimes when people ask me, what was your first console? Sometimes I will say it was the Commodore. But I really didn't have too many memorable games attached to it. I had like a Barbie game, and I really didn't play it that much. It was like one of the first Barbie games that ever got released on it. You just like dress her up and like drive a car and go on a date with Ken. Yeah, sorry.
I've never heard of that system before.
Yeah. It's basically like this big, chunky, khaki-colored keyboard, mechanical sounding keyboard, and you just plug it in to a television and you're good to go.
See, because you're a lot younger than me, so I'm like, I understand that it's some systems that like I have just missed, because my first console that was actually mine was the regular Nintendo, the regular NES.
Oh, okay.
See, I remember, and this is going to show my age, I remember when that system was still releasing new games. I remember seeing an ad on television about this brand new product that can play CDs and can play video games. This is the PlayStation.
The all-in-one.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my goodness. And me and my cousin got really hype about it. And now it's kind of like, oh, play CDs and DVDs. But it's like, back then it was like, yeah. But
I wish I could have jumped on that PlayStation train. For me, it was mostly like exclusively Nintendo. That's why I'm such a diehard fan of their any consoles or games released on any systems that I already own. I'm gonna jump on that hype train. I just give me more.
See, I prefer Nintendo games, but I like the PlayStation layout.
Yeah, no, I see what you mean. I mean, I do own a PS4 as well, but I never got consoles 1 through 3. It just wasn't included in my family household dynamic, I guess.
I'm trying to think which ones that I own. I've had the NES. I've had the PlayStation. I've had the Sega, 64, PS1, and the PS2, and the Wii. And I haven't bought any after the Wii.
Have you ever owned any handheld consoles, or?
Well, I never, The thing is like I don't have the patience
No?
to sit around. Like, I mean, I played the Game Boy, I played the Game Gear, I played. It's another one that I played, and like I mean, like you had those little Mortal Kombat games like that, whatever. But it's not. Those never really. I don't have the patience for that. If I'm outside, I'm running. I was running around, back when I could run.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't really something that I could really get into per se.
Hmm.
I mean, like, I've like, and you said a system I've never heard of. Like, have you ever heard of the Jaguar?
No, I haven't. When was that released?
Oh, I don't know. That was the '90s,
Hmm.
but I just remember they had this game that was based on McDonald's,
McDonald's.
and you had to run around and collect. I don't even need McDonald's anymore, but the game was fun. You had to run around and you had to collect McDonald's M's. And that was it. You had to, because they were in McDonald's and they got sucked into something, and they were at McDonald's World.
Wow.
And at the end of every board, you see Ronald McDonald waving a McDonald's flag.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my childhood.
Wow. Collecting M's into a vacuum?
No, I think you had to click it, and you had this little slime gun, so you're shooting whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that was it.
I mean, I'm not totally surprised that a game like that, like for a major fast food chain existed. I've heard that like in the late 90s, early 2000s, there was a lot of like major cereal brands and major fast food chains that were trying to get into the video game business because of the Y2K scare and all that. And technology was really, really booming around that time and getting more and more fast-tracked, advanced. I remember there was one CD-ROM game that Captain Crunch had released. It was this janky fucking computer game where you played as like this weird fluffy monster and you had to take care of them from monster infancy all the way into adulthood, and you could play a bunch of mini games, and of course their diet was exclusively cereal, Captain Crunch cereal. It was just one of those games where you ask yourself, why did this ever exist? But it was for corporate sponsorship and also for product placement, so yeah.
I remember Barbie had a video game. I remember the Spice Girls had a video game.
Mm-hmm.
And like I remember all these video games for like either celebrities and stuff like that. Like before Moonwalker came out for the Wii, Michael Jackson had like one for I think this was like N64 or something like that. So I mean everybody had to jump up from the bandwagon
Mm-hmm.
To like really excel their company.
Mm-hmm.
And to try to attract kids, even though like some of their games were very boring. So it was a catch-22 at all times because it's hard to adapt to what kids want because the kids want these more violent video games, or more interesting video games, or really animated characters. If that makes sense. And I don't know if that was just my childhood because, like, as I say back to '64, my favorite game on '64 was GoldenEye. So it was either GoldenEye or Mario 64.
Oh, the classic.
And honestly, like, in my opinion, it's better than many other recent Mario games. Just simply because like it felt more, you had more objectives.
Right.
So, like, what is your all-time favorite game that you really got into?
Oh boy.
And what system?
Well, it's kind of a cross between two. One of them I'm actually playing right now on my channel. It's called Tales of Symphonia. It's part of the Tales of fandom. It's a JRPG. it was released out on the GameCube as well as the PlayStation 2. There's some sets of sounds that are in the GameCube version that aren't in the PlayStation version, but the gameplay is the exact same. So Tales of Symphonia on the GameCube is one of my favorites. It's 2 discs, because, and I just found this out last night from Batsy, actually, that one GameCube disc can only hold up to about 1.5 gigabytes of data. And looking back, it kind of makes sense why they needed to port the game on 2 discs, because it's pretty expansive. There's a lot of meat in this game. And then my second one would have to be Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. And fun fact about that game, I wasn't originally supposed to play that game when I was younger, because my dad would only let me play a specific set of games that he would set aside for me. And then whenever I wanted to play a game that he had in his, he had a long bookshelf specifically for storing games. And he noticed after a little while that I was sneaking the game case of Twilight Princess. So he put it all the way back in his and my mom's room, thinking that I would never find out where it is, so I couldn't finish the game. I think he did this so that I wouldn't go and finish the game before he got the chance to finish it. But every other day, whenever I would get off from school, it was always before he would get off from work. So I would go into his room. It was in the top drawer of his nightstand. And I would take it into my room and I would play it for about 2 hours. And a few minutes before I knew he would get home, a little earlier than that, just to be sure, in case if he drove home earlier, I would go back into the room, put it back in his nightstand, and then make my way back to my bedroom. If he really wanted to see that I was playing the game, he could have easily been 200 IQ dad and looked at my memory card on my GameCube to see if I have any saved game data from the game. But he didn't, so he never found out.
I mean, it was. Oh shit! Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
My thing just buzzed out for a second. No, I know for me, my system ended up in my cousin's room.
Mm-hmm.
So, for some reason, and he always locked his room. So, it was one of those, you know how you can padlock a room. So, if I was a more heavier kid as a child, I would never have been able to play my own system, because I had to squeeze through to get in there unless he was home.
Oh yeah.
And then when he was home, I had to play with him or play while he was awake.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, why can't I put my own system in my room? And
right.
it was because he wanted to play Techno Bowl. Yeah. Super Techno Bowl. And the thing is, he played that all day, every day. This is the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
This is the 90s? Yeah, this is the 90s. So I can understand not being allowed to play certain, but I don't, why would he want to beat it first? Is to have bragging rights?
I'm not sure about bragging rights. I think my dad and I have extremely similar personalities. I am the apple that did not fall too far from the parental tree.
Oh, so you're just competitive.
He made me competitive. And genetics also made me competitive as well. The first game that him and I, and this is why I have a much closer relationship with my dad first introduced me to video games when I was 4 years old. He started me really young. And my mom actually also owned a Sega and an Atari system, but for whatever reason, she never let me touch them or see them. So I have no idea where they end up. Probably lost in that storage unit fiasco. But she did let me play on her Commodore 64, and that's where I got introduced to that first Barbie game. But officially, the first game that my dad and I ever played together was Mario Kart 64. And that game was a little clunky looking, my first video game, but it was so full of color and vibrancy, and it was just I was hooked from then on. Of course, I would always fall off and not know where I was driving, but after a couple of years and my dad bought a couple more games and another system or two came out, I started getting better at him.
Better than him, yeah.
Yeah, better than him. So I remember even single-player games like Super Mario Sunshine on the GameCube, I would be like his co-pilot. So if he couldn't see an obvious solution to the puzzle in the game, I would be there to help him. But when Mario Kart Double Dash came out on the GameCube, that was when my time to shine finally came out, and where we really started to differ in our play styles. And I started beating him at every single racing match that he would ever, initiate. Like, Teresa, let's play some video games. You've had a hard day at school, and yeah, he would end up pretty upset at the end of that match. So he made me pretty competitive, but he created his own monster. So
the main person who I was competitive with was the cousin I was referring to, but me and him always battled at Tekken.
Tekken.
Ooh. And this is the original Tekken, so this is going back.
Mm-hmm.
Original, and I could not I could beat him depending on who he had got, but if he got Yoshimitsu, it was a done deal. Like it wasn't going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I can understand that competitivism like that, and that's why I think more so like I always enjoyed games you can play with people over games you can play by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like even though Final Fantasy VII is a one-player game, me and my cousin used to play it together. Like, he do some and I did some, etc., etc. Until this is why I do not miss memory cards. My memory cards,
they held like absolutely no data. They were so small, like megabytes worth, not even gigabytes at that point.
And then if it died,
you're screwed. You can't transfer the data.
And that's what happened. And honestly, like I ended up streaming me beating Final Fantasy VII. But the thing was like up until I streamed me playing that, between that time and the time I quit in like I want to say probably 97, 98, I refused to play any game that was in the same universe or the same type of game like a Final Fantasy VII, because that memory card died as soon as I hit disc 2. No, disc 1 is really wrong. Disc 1 is really Final Fantasy VII, and it died right then. So, yeah. So, but yeah, tell everybody how did you get into streaming, like what the joys come out of it now, and everything like that.
Yeah. So I think I heard you mention earlier that you had found out about me because of Nesba, because her and I have been very close friends for about a decade now. I guess my channel has pretty much started because of her. I can't really think of any other reason aside from that. I saw how much fun she was having, how many connections she was starting to build because of this wonderful site, Twitch. And I just wanted to give it a shot. It looked like so much fun. And I really wanted to try and make my own community and share my love of what is now considered retro games with my own budding community. And it's still blossoming from there, but
I mean, like, yeah. You have, like, you're an affiliate. You have 5 emotes. That means you had at least 15 subscribers. So, I mean, you got more than that, of course. But like, emotes they give you per whatever. That means you at least have that many. I mean, people really enjoy watching you. Enjoy watching you play these retro games. I know one of but the best games I enjoyed watching you play was Luigi's Mansion.
Oh my goodness, I love Luigi so much.
And I know, I don't know if it's out or not, or it's coming soon. Then they're doing number 2 or 3 or whatever number they're on.
Yeah, I think it's number 3. It's supposed to come out at the end of this year, along with Animal Crossing. You bet your buns that I'm gonna get both of those.
You know, I've never ever in my life played Animal Crossing.
You know, I actually never. I know that it came out on the GameCube as well as the Nintendo DS, but for whatever reason, my dad never got around to buying Animal Crossing. I don't know if he never knew about it or didn't think it would be fun. I have no idea, but I actually never grew up playing Animal Crossing either, and I just started playing it about 2 years ago for the first time, and I love it. It's hilariously kooky.
People tell me because I really enjoy Stardew Valley that I would enjoy Animal Crossing.
They're very similar. So the quality of the games is definitely the most prominent thing that you'll notice between the two, but maintaining and tending to things and doing quests and accomplishing things, they're extremely similar in that regard. So they're really not all that different. I think you would get a kick out of Animal Crossing if you like Stardew.
Actually, like I know you played that before too, right?
Yeah, I tried doing the multiplayer thing, but I couldn't really get it to work. I think it was in its beta infancy, and I kind of gave up on it. And also, any farms that you have already created, it doesn't get ported over. You have to start over. I don't know if it saves anything that you and a friend put together. I haven't gotten that far, but yeah.
You can't like bring your farm over. So you do start a new one,
Mm-hmm.
and then like let's say you're the host, so you host the game, and everything that y'all do is saves a file, just like anywhere else, and like whenever they come back, they just port into your game.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you do not use a mod, you can have 4 people.
Oh.
And y'all can tend to the farm and do everything.
Mm-hmm.
And you all can get married to whoever y'all want to get married to.
Heck yeah.
The only thing that I don't like about multiplayer,
Mm-hmm.
that I hear they're fixing it now, is the fact that you share money.
Mm.
That's what makes it hard.
Mm-hmm.
But so like if you need a bag, whatever, in a bag is like $1,600, whatever, gold, whatever. Like you share that, so
Mm-hmm.
like you gotta like be really attentive to the money, whatever. I do know, like I really like when I first started watching people play it, it just seemed so boring to me, and until I started playing it, and like I got hooked. I mean, to the point where Steam has all these objectives. And like I finished all of the objectives except for 2. And
Wow, really?
And that's just like it's a video game inside the bar, and you got to beat the video game that's inside the bar. And I cannot do that. That video game is hard. That video game is Turtles on NES hard.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only thing I couldn't do. And now at my original farm, it's like I have nothing else to do. Like literally, I did all the objectives. I married Leah on that farm.
I remember you saying that Leah is your bae. I love Sebastian. He's so dark and brooding and.
You say who?
Sebastian.
I have, since I'm on, like I have my regular one, which is Leah. And then I'm on 2 different multiplayer farms. And on one of the farms, I married Penny.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other one, I haven't married her yet, but I'm woozing Margaret.
Ooh.
Because I feel that no one like pays attention to Margaret. She's like in her own little world. Like she's always up there with Sebastian and Harriet, Demetrius, and whatever her mother name is.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like she's just out of the way. So I said I might as well like marry her in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody else is picking the other females that are available. I really enjoy that game. I enjoy it more than I enjoy League. I love League.
League and I have a love-hate relationship. More so, if you want to put a more descriptive label on it, it would be kind of like an abusive relationship. You lose more than anything else, but it's when you get those victories, it makes you, it just reels you back in. And that's what makes you stay in the relationship.
I mean, like, I've gotten to the point where I don't play for the rank anymore. Like, I don't mind ranking, but it's like sometimes I just get the regular one and then just quit. Sometimes I rank up to how far I can go up, like within the time. But it's like when I do rank, like if I went on rank right now, like my MMR, like I would play all against silver 2s, but my account's in bronze because I never ranked.
Oh, so you have high MMR?
Yeah, because I'm a good player. I just don't play rank. So. So it's a take 22.
Yeah.
I'm not the best player. I'm not a great player, but I can play a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, this is my first rank season as well. My main account, I've made it to silver 3. And I think based on the matchmaking tier averages that I'm getting put with, I think I have high MMR. Because whenever I win, I get like around 20 LP. It's probably also because I'm on the lower end of the ranking food chain. But when I lose, I only lose like 11 LP.
See, like I want to say the last game I played in rank, I got 30 LP. And the last one I lost 5 LP.
Yeah, you definitely have high MMR.
So I think I even like when I played, I've never flexed. I played flex and I just skipped to division. So
I played flex a couple of times, but I think I just left it at bronze. I don't think I've finished matchmaking it, and it's been a little while, so it put me back down to unranked.
Yeah, it's just for me, it's more so about playing with people. I enjoy human relation games, so that's why I enjoy like the League of Legends, the Jackbox games, and games you could play with other humans.
Yeah,
that's why I even enjoy the interaction like with Twitch because like I've been on Twitch for a very, very, very long time. Like, I mean, I joined like my original account. I made in 2008. So, and that was back when me and my co-host, who's not here, was partnered on Justin TV.
Oh, wow.
And then we lost it because, don't you know how people, post links into your chat? And, I accidentally clicked one and it was something that was perverted. And
oh, no, TOS?
It was TOS and I got removed right away. And I couldn't get it back. And
oh no!
You know what? And we were, but the thing was, we kind of cheated because my business, like my day job, my partner in that day job, whatever, he knew the owner of Justin TV, and they just gave me a partnership. So they used to front page us, and we just do a talk show every Thursday, and we just sit there and do just chatting for an hour, and we used to get like 300-400 people just sitting there watching us for like an hour, and it was like, okay, you find us somewhat interesting, okay.
Damn, I wish I would have known about this website much, much sooner.
But I mean, that was before we started our YouTube channel, which was started also. So yeah, so
nice.
But yeah, okay. So I do want to get to a question that someone did say he wanted to know.
Okay. Is it wait, before you start, is it that question from from Batsy, that was kind of a meme question.
Yeah, you might as well answer it. To say that we acknowledge this question.
We acknowledge this question.
We acknowledge your question, Batsy. And this is the moment you've been waiting for. We've been on for 31 minutes. So this is the moment you've been waiting for, Batsy.
Oh my goodness.
So go ahead. I think he asked, what is your favorite 3 foods?
My favorite 3 foods. It's kind of hard because I'm one of those people that can't really eat the same meal twice. I just have like a colorful palate, I guess you could say. Favorite foods. Okay. My first favorite is arroz con pollo, which is chicken and rice.
Okay. Like English.
Yeah. My second favorite is tiramisu, the Italian dessert.
I know what that is. Okay.
Yeah. And then my third would be, and I'm probably going to get a lot of hate from this, but I don't hide it. So fuck the haters. Pineapple pizza.
It's delicious. Hold on.
Right?
Time out. Reverse. This is a real question. What do you put with the pineapple?
What do I put with it? What do you mean? Like a condiment with the pizza, or?
I mean, like, if you went to order a pizza right now and you got pineapple on it, would there be a second item?
If it means that the pizza is going to come out cheaper, I don't mind if it's a full-blown Hawaiian, so ham. But there is, since I live in Reno, there is a local chain around here called the Blind Onion Pizzeria. And they have a Hawaiian pizza that also has, like, onions on it. And it's really fucking good.
I don't like onions. But,
no? You don't like chocolate? You don't like onions?
I'm very particular about food that enters my body.
Oh my goodness.
And, yeah. So yeah, but no. If I went to order pineapple on a pizza, I would need to have like either pepperoni or Italian sausage or ham. I need something to even it out, you know?
Right. Yeah, the savors. I gotcha.
Because, like, honestly, like, and I say this joking, like, seriously, like, I always thought, like, I was one of the people at first thought it was just weird. Mm-hmm. Because this is when I worked at a pizza place in college. And I'm like, why would you put pineapple on a pizza? And then one day, like, they gave us this, you always got a free personal pan, a small personal pan, whatever, for lunch. And I said, well, let me go ahead and make meat lovers like I always do. Mm-hmm. I said, well, the pineapple's just right there. Let me just throw some on.
Oh, I'm so proud of you. You tried something new.
And I'm just like, this is delicious. And like,
yeah.
That I always did it. And like, people just look at it like, that is so weird. I'm like, people act like Hawaii hasn't been around for a long time. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, you know, you're scared to try new things because, you know, you're so used to your custom, you know?
Yeah. I think that's a lot of where those opinions come from. People who just like look at the fact that there is a fruit on something that is salty and they automatically, yeah, okay, it has seeds. Yes. Okay. But it's in sauce form in this picture.
I'm just throwing it. I'm agreeing with you. I'm just throwing it out there like, you know, tomatoes are fruit too, you know?
Yes. But they see that and they automatically think like, that looks gross. It is gross. And even if you've tried it and you don't like it, that's fine. But don't knock me for liking it. It's not like I'm putting, dare I say it, anchovies on my pizza.
You know, working at a pizza place and you just hear so much random stuff that people would put on their pizza.
Yeah, I've seen people put chocolate sauce on their pizza, their meat lovers pizza. Like I've heard of honey and ranch dressing, which is what the Blind Onion food chain does around here, which is pretty good. But chocolate sauce? Why?
And you'll be surprised at what people do. However, it's never been one of my interests to really try to enjoy some of the stuff that some of the people do.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I mean, like, I've seen people put ranch, like, instead of tomato sauce, they use either ranch or barbecue sauce.
Oh, barbecue's good.
But then, like, on top, like, I've had to put anchovies. Like, the nastiest pizza I ever made was someone who ordered a ranch pizza, and they
Ooh.
wanted anchovies, artichoke heart, and black olives.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that just sounds disgusting. Like,
yeah. Oh.
it's like since I lived in a college town, in the back of my mind, the entire time I was making it, it made me think that, like, it was a fraternity or someone at like in a frat house, whatever, ordering a pizza just to haze somebody,
Mm-hmm.
make them eat it. That was like, because it didn't sound edible.
Right.
Those things don't go together at all, like, in any shape, way, form, or fashion.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, they are also like personal opinions. So 9 times out of 10, the reason that people are saying, I don't think that looks or sounds or tastes good because I can't see myself eating it. And for that reason, I don't think any other person should eat it. It is gross. The end.
but
Which is fair.
does that sound good for you, though? Those 3 toppings?
Doesn't sound horrible. I'd try it. I'd try it, and then I would weigh final judgment. I don't like just looking at something and saying, I don't like it.
Well, I like, my base is going off because I don't like ranch.
I like dipping my pizza in ranch.
I don't like any salad dressing. That's why everybody calls me plain. Because, like, for example, like, if I was to, like, get chicken from Domino's, I'll get them plain, and I don't dip them in anything.
Mm-hmm.
If I get a gyro or gyro, however you want to say it, I get it.
I think it's a gyro.
Gyro.
Yeah.
I would just get it with the meat and the pita, and that's it. I don't want the cucumber sauce.
I mean, that's fine. That's basically a different looking version of a hot dog.
So
plain.
And the only thing I put on a hot dog is ketchup because I don't like mustard.
No? Do you like honey mustard?
No, I don't like any type of mustard.
Oh my god, my heart hurts.
So it's like, I'm very, like, my foods I eat are very plain, but everybody say I'm very picky because of the fact that I don't eat certain foods. And, like, 'cause I don't eat pasta. And, like, I don't eat pasta, and I don't eat a lot of stuff people call soul food, like your green chitterlings, hog maw, and stuff like that. Ooh. So because I don't eat these certain foods that cover so much stuff, people say I'm picky.
Ooh.
But spaghetti is like, I like if you give me some I love garlic bread.
Garlic bread's good.
If you give me spaghetti and you force me to have spaghetti in front of me, I will just grab the garlic bread, press it against the spaghetti, making sure that I don't pick up a noodle, and just slowly pick up some of the meat that's in it, and then eat it, because I don't want that physical noodle. I think that's the main thing. I don't like noodles. The noodle itself. Man,
I love pasta.
And see, then that's where I'm at ends for a lot of people. I will just look at you if you give me spaghetti or ravioli.
The fuck is this? Take it back.
That's exactly how I feel, and like, I don't curse, so I would have to come up with different words instead of the F word.
The flip is this: get this out of my atmosphere. Be gone.
Yeah, so that's a hard part too. Everybody don't believe I don't curse, like, and like they always ask the person who is supposed to be here, like, does he not curse? He's like, no, it just seems like if you hear raw cuss, it just doesn't sound right. But yeah, so Batsy, there's your answer. she likes those 3 foods. I know your question was a little of a meme, but it was answered, and we actually considered you. See?
I think I was thinking, and I got a little nervous at first. I think I was thinking about the other question that he. I think it was in Nesba's chat the other night. He wrote that out. I think it was just a joke, but I thought that was the question that you were gonna ask me.
No. I wasn't gonna answer that question.
And I was like, Monk S.
No. Like I saw that question, and I said,
okay.
I said back to him. I said, what if? I said, now what if I told her that, and then you came out of nowhere like RKO.
Or what if I read it myself?
You RKO'd out of nowhere. Like, what if I read it myself? Like, uh-oh.
KO.
No, but I wouldn't ask any questions that would purposely make you feel uncomfortable.
No, it's fine. I was just, if you were actually going to ask that question, I was going to be really surprised, but it's fine. The food question is perfectly fine.
Yes, ask that in the stream that you had. So I took that in consideration, and I wrote it, like I sent it to myself, and so I would remember to bring it up.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to bring up how crazy he is, because he said his life.
Batsy is one of a kind. Best mod ever.
He's very interesting, and I know that, like, sometimes he's faster than me now than I was in Nespa stream, because I used to catch, like, people used to wait until I left or I went to the restroom to really troll in Nespa stream.
Oh, yeah.
And I leave for like 1 second. Like, I can't sit there for like 5-6 hours and not go pee.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as soon as I go to use the restroom, come back. Yada Yada was acting crazy. I'm like, really? I can't go. It's like they have a radar for when I
He's not here.
when my bladder is full. And otherwise, sometimes I just sit there and I just watch. I'll be watching when I mod. Some people, it's like sometimes I mod more than one at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm working sometimes too. So sometimes I'm like, the left eye is on the chat and the right eye is on work.
You turn into a chameleon.
No, because I think I've actually posted a picture of me having like 6 chats open.
Mm-hmm.
And like on my other computer, I'm actually doing work.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, that's why sometimes when I used to mod, like when I mod people, like I don't hear, or sometimes when they say something to me directly, because I can't hear like 6 people talk at one time.
Right. No, it makes sense.
It's like everybody wants to stream at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's just get confusing sometimes. But let's see. So we have like about 3 minutes left. You want to tell the viewers out there, listeners, the listeners out there, anything else about yourself or anything you want them to know, and also give them your social media and tell them how they can contact you.
Yeah, of course. So 3 minutes to talk about myself. Woof, pressure. So I am, I'm kind of an all over the place type of personality. I'm very welcoming, very understanding, empathetic. I welcome any new person into my live stream. For the most part, I'm good at understanding jokes, but if you come in for the first time and you try and say something that don't look right, I may take it the wrong way. So try not to get offended. But yeah, I played lots of retro games, primarily on my GameCube. I have a Switch as well. PlayStation, I have to finish God of War, so I'll schedule that sometime in the future. But I'm 25. I have a bachelor's in psychology. I also just recently got my certified nursing assistant certificate, and I also picked up another degree. I got an associate's out of that. My next course of action is to do my EMT training, regular and advanced, so that I can...
This is why my co-hosts need to be here, because he has a degree in psychology and he has his nursing thing.
Really? Wow, small world.
Yeah, but he like right now I'm in his personal gym. So so he's a fitness trainer.
Yeah. I mean, originally I did plan on taking the full-blown nursing route, but I couldn't shake this uncomfortable, uncertain sensation about what kind of working environment I would have to be in. And I don't mind seeing blood and gore and helping people, young and old. It's being inside in closed doors all the time for 10 to 12 hours, maybe more, every single day. And I would go absolutely nuts. So I started looking a little bit more into medicine and trying to find see where I would fit in the niche in the medical community. And I found out that there's a thing called wilderness medicine. And no, it's not like I'm a shaman of this village sort of thing. It's like being an EMT in a rural environment. So people that are like climbing or hiking or camping, and they're in a critical emergency situation. Here I come, EMT, to stabilize you in your whatever condition you're in so that I can safely transport you to the nearest medical facility. That's what I want to do. And I'd be outside most of the time. Yeah.
I love being on the inside, so
I would just start feeling really cramped and clammy, and I think I would get really tired of my job really quickly. So I love being outdoors. I love helping people and giving medical advice where it's legally apt. And I found combining the two. I found the profession that would be able to I'd be able to combine the two. So
I think with me, it's more so it's like I love going out. I love interacting with human beings.
Mm-hmm.
I love that interaction, but I also love the fact that like where I live at, I live I live in the woods in LA. Like on the you have not the woods, I mean the forest. So you have to go up a mountain. Then you have to do a few circles up the mountain. Then you have to go to the back of the forest, and then you'll see a group of houses, and that's where I live.
Oh, that sounds quaint.
And like for me, it's like it's quiet, it's away. The only thing we gotta deal with is the homeless will come walk up the mountain looking for stuff. But like past that and the wild animals like lions and stuff. But like the thing is, for me, it's like it's a way. Like you won't come visit me unless you really are coming to visit me. And like I'm always like I will come to you because I don't like people coming to my house. I don't give people my real address. So so it's like no, it's like when I'm home. I don't want to see other humans. That's what I'm saying. I'm a homebody.
Well, I'm pretty much the same way. I'm trying to move out from where I am right now. It's a little too close to civilization. And if I do manage to stay around in the area, I want to try and be within a reasonable distance to city center so that I can shop and ease, but also I don't want to be too close to other people because I really like my space and my quiet. Yeah. So yeah. Oh, I do think there's one question that I have gotten a lot, and I think I'll address right now. Why did I pick Seeking the Great? And there's a tiny story. So I had this fish, a beta fish, and I named them Seeking, and it just went from there. I think my first account that I made with Seeking the Great in it was my Steam account. And then a few years later, I carried that over into Twitch. So really it started from my beta fish in college.
It was about like 6 years?
The what?
So about 6 years?
Yeah, about. I think you can see how on my Steam page, I think you can see how long I've had my account open, but 6 or 7 years, that sounds about right.
Okay, so
yeah,
because I've been using my name for a long time, so it's crazy. So
Yeah.
like longer than some people have been alive that stream on Twitch. I've
Mm-hmm.
used my name, so it's kind of a shame. Tell everybody your social media and everything. Like,
Yeah, so it's pretty much the same all across the board. So on Twitch, it's Seeking, so the Pokemon, Seaking, the Great. Same thing for Twitter and Instagram as well.
all right, and so make sure you go out and listen, go out and watch her play.
Listen or watch.
listen, watch. Engage in conversation. Don't troll. Be nice. Be sweet. And
I have enough trolls or troll as it is.
hey, and for y'all fans out there, she watch wrestling too. So
Yeah.
And yeah, so Super Slam. SummerSlam is tonight, and I'm guessing that you might be watching. I know I will be.
You are correct.
Super Slam. Wow.
Super SummerSlam.
Anyway, if you want to follow us, Burbank Misfits on Instagram. I'm lying. It's the Burbank Misfits on Instagram. Burbank Misfits on Twitter. Burbank Misfits on the Facebook. CW isn't here, but his Instagram name is Christopher_Willie_J or CC Fitness LA on Instagram and on Twitter and on Facebook. Me, I am Rawstarr, RAWSTARR on Twitter and on Instagram. Thank you for listening this week, and we will speak to you next week. Have an amazing week, y'all.
Bye.